What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here, and today we're going to be talking Colosseum and the Constellation, how to take full advantage of it, how to know which heroes to use and which heroes would actually work. So we'll go ahead and go over that. As a side note, I did record about 3 hours of KVK. I got a ton of footage, so I'm gonna edit that out. I'll probably do that in 2 parts, because if I do it in one, it's probably gonna be quite long, so I don't want to put out like a 30-minute video just on that. So I'll probably just put it in parts and I'll put it out in the next few days. But getting into this Colosseum this week and the constellation that we have, you see it up there. The requirements is an intelligence hero, and intelligence heroes we get a magic attack buff of 15% and magic crit of 35%, which would be a buff on them. Now, first of all, how do you know it's an intelligence hero? Well, first of all, if you go over to the defensive formation, it will be the ones that have the star on it. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you go to your heroes over here, and underneath the heroes, you see a symbol. Like, for instance, under the Watcher, you see the fist. That's essentially what it tells you what kind of hero that is. So once we go into the Watcher, you click on the fist, and it'll tell you right here, this is a strength hero, while Lord Weaver is an intelligence hero, so on and so forth. So that's an easy way to tell as well. Now, going into the Colosseum, so essentially the constellation for this week is going to be an intelligence based one, which means that we are going to have a lot of heroes that are going to be dealing magic damage. So what you want to do in this case is take full advantage of that. So for instance, heroes like Prima Donna, Incinerator, let's see, Petite Devil, those are going to be seeing a lot of play. So once you actually get a team down, you can take full advantage of that. But be very careful when building your teams. Do not overcompensate for the constellation, because if you overdo it, then you're leaving yourself vulnerable. So for instance, let's rebuild this team with a quote-unquote free-to-play team that will take full advantage of this constellation, right? So we'll go Incinerator, Prima Donna, let's see, let's just go like this. Okay, these are all free-to-play heroes, and outside of Rose Knight, which is the tank of the team, all of them take advantage of the constellation because they're all magic damage. We have a healer, we have a tank, and this would be a team that takes full advantage of that. The only problem is that you don't want to overdo it. If you overdo it with this, then you basically let yourself become more vulnerable to a specific type of hero. And in this case, and in this constellation, your biggest nemesis and probably the hero of the week is going to be Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer would completely, just by himself, will probably eat this whole team up. So you want to be careful with that. You don't want to overdo it. You can put like a few heroes. You can probably do something like this and be really good. We'll do something like this. That would be pretty good. It would be fairly balanced, and a Demon Slayer isn't alone going to destroy your team. I'll go ahead and give you an example of what happens when you overdo it. And these last few people that I went up against, these two right here, they overdid it. They just threw heroes in there just because they had the star, and then that's it. That's all they really thought about. And let's go ahead and look at this one first. And what I'm doing is I'm using, let me pause it right here. Now I'm using 2 assassins to go up against this team. I'm using a Demon Slayer, and I'm using a blue grade Femme Fatale. Now if you don't have Femme Fatale at any grade, you can substitute that with somebody like a Shade. But 2 assassins against a team that consists of basically all magic dealers except Big Guy completely eats them up. He's using 4 heroes that take advantage of this constellation, but the problem is that he leaves himself vulnerable. So take a look at the assassins and just how quickly they destroy this team just because they left themselves vulnerable with the type of team that they had. So let's go ahead and let it roll. Look at the assassins, look what they do. There we go. And there goes the Petite Devil's already down. So that's already 1 down. Look at this. The Demon Slayer just now jumped, so he actually got stunned. He wasn't able to jump at the beginning, so just imagine if he was, it would have been even more damage. So Let's go ahead and let it continue. They get a few procs off. There we go. Now the Demon Slayer by himself over there is going to destroy the Jonas, and there goes the Demon Slayer again. The Femme Fatale took care of the healer, and that's all she wrote. Technically speaking, his team was taking advantage of the Constellation, but because he overdid it, he left himself wide open. Now this guy pretty much, and I use the same team because this team is a team that takes advantage of somebody overusing the Constellation this week. So let's go ahead and play it and pause it and take a look at the teams. Okay, so again, it's the same team that I just used. He is using somewhat of the same team, except instead of the Petite Devil, he is using an Incinerator. But take a look at this. Oh, and the big guy is now a different tank, but really the tank doesn't matter. In this type of combination with the assassins, usually the tank might be the last one to go, but he's gonna have nothing to back it up at the end, so it won't matter. So take a look at the confrontation again. This time, because there's no big guy, the Demon Slayer is able to jump right away, and they're tag teaming this team. There it goes. Demon Slayer completely one-shots it. Here we go. The Incinerator pretty much almost died, so he got a little bit lucky there, but not even luck. He's able to save him on this one, so check this out. Once they get out of that stun, it's pretty much over. There goes the healer. The Incinerator is going to follow right here, and now the tank is the only thing that's left, but because the tank has no heals, no damage to back it up, it's just a fish out of water pretty much. So essentially, the lesson for this week as far as this Constellation is, make sure that you build a balanced team while still making sure that you use the Constellation to your advantage. So for instance, I'll go back to the team that I had before. You can do something like this. I would say that this is a pretty strong team, completely free to play. You have Incinerator that's going to be taking advantage of the Constellation, is going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. You have your healer in Prima Donna, and then you also have the Demon Slayer that is going to be super powerful against the magic dealers. Rose Knight, of course, for obvious reason, Rose Knight is pretty much like the overall one of the best heroes for Colosseum, but also keep in mind that Rose Knight is a stronger magic resistant tank than she is physical, so that she also has that going for her. And then Tracker, if she procs on a magic hero, 9 times out of 10 that proc is going to one-shot them. So that's a very strong team. I would suggest something like this for free to play. If you have stronger teams that you can use, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this type of video. Maybe I'll go ahead and do this weekly, talk some Colosseum with you guys, show you some more gameplay of Colosseum. If you want to see that, let me know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until later, bye.